Let's move on now. Let's go to our trending topics. And there we have, first up, Afrikaans. Now, Afrikaans has been trending ever since that Charlize Theron thing came on. People are now saying Charlize must change her surname because people have been touched on their studios because of this comment. Charlize apparently said that there's only like 44 people who still speak Afrikaans. And now, yesterday, everyone came out and says, I am one of the 44. And it's way more than 44. And we know this. But I was also reading somewhere that apparently this was a bit of a tongue-in-cheek comedy moment, comedic moment somewhere. But not sure what it is. But people are annoyed with Charlize for saying that, you know, Afrikaans is essentially a language that isn't of much use and maybe dying. But that, of course, is not true. And also, as I say, everyone coming out to make their voices heard, those who are Afrikaans speaking, and also making it known that Afrikaans is not only spoken by white people, but in fact, the majority of Afrikaans speaking people are perhaps not even white. So these are the conversations that are taking place on Twitter about Afrikaans. Hashtag Bafana Bafana. So funny, most people were like, did you know Bafana Bafana was playing last night? Of course, some of us knew, but it seems many South Africans were not even aware. But there you have it, Bafana Bafana taking on Mozambique yesterday. And it was so funny, the coach, Hugo Bruce, was saying the reason why he decided not to play, a stronger team at this time is because, you know, the critics are probably just waiting so that they can say something negative. But he feels at this point, boys just need to play so that they could get up to a certain standard. And indeed, they were victorious against Mozambique last night. Fusiwe will have more on that for us in our sports news. Then moving on, the next one is hashtag SAPS. Now, SAPS for a few reasons. And interesting, yesterday on the Twitter sphere, there were quite a few posts about SAPS arrests. You would have heard in the news the one that took place in Bryanston of the Israeli gang leader, kingpin, however you want to put that, that arrest. And then there was also another one because apparently there's this gang that had been terrorizing the community of Fordsburg and surrounding areas, and the police arrested an SAPS officer along with 4 Zimbabwean nationals, according to some, but that seems to vary. But they arrested 5 people, and apparently these were the people who were really just wreaking havoc in the Fordsburg and surrounding areas. Then there were a few other arrests also that people were talking about, and it seems as though that was the talk. Salamina Koza, 68-year-old entrepreneur, retiree, she was also detained for stealing social grants. But it emerged from that story that she had, in fact, she had been doing business, conducting business with SAPS, and has 10 firms, and that she allegedly received 60 million rand in tenders from the SAPS. So quite a few stories around the South African police services. And as I say, most of them seemingly about arrests that were effected by the police. And then the final one, we have hashtag Benoni. Okay, Benoni. Charlize is from Benoni, as you know. So Benoni seems to want to disown Charlize for that Afrikaans comment. And others were making it known that Charlize is straight out of Benoni. So that's where it's at. And then also there was another story about taxi drivers who apparently shambocked a Nyaupe dealer because commuters had been complaining about how they were robbed by these Nyaupe addicts, and then they found a dealer and they shambocked him, and pictures of that was put up on the social media platform as well. So that and much more about just random things happening in Benoni, but it was Charlize and the taxi drivers who shambocked that Nyaupe dealer that pushed Benoni onto the trending list this morning. So those are some of your trending topics.